inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So the Florida State Seminoles offense will take the field first. Every team has impact players. What traits are you looking for when it comes to players who can make an impact, David?
Well, obviously, you want the main things, right? Speed, physicality, like all power, all those things are really, really good. But you also need guys that will hold people accountable, guys that will lead, and it's nice to have those guys on your team. They're the leaders of the team, and they're the best players.
And part of the reason why they're leaders is because these guys galvanize their teammates, right? We've seen time and time again, these dudes make plays, and it just sparks the sideline. It sparks the coaching staff. It sparks the fans. They're special players, and they all have to play well today.
With the first down, they'll put it in play from the 33. He'll keep it himself. Good job running tough and behind his pads as he gets up to the 38-yard line.
And that's what I love about the QB run game in this offense is it just keeps these defenses off balance. We're going to see a lot of running backs doing their work between the tackles in this game as well. But you see how mixing in the quarterback run too, it just keeps this defense so confused.
Grabbed in the backfield, it's White. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Great effort by the defense here. Offense trying to go wide receiver screen. How about the speed on defense rounding the football?
The Seminoles are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. Looking downfield, it's Castellanos. Quarterback now breaking the field. At midfield, he's got room. There he goes. And he was on his way. Gets it all the way to the 38.
And you're seeing here the difficulties defenses have trying to contain this guy. If you leave a lane open or you don't sack him right away, you allow him to get outside the pocket, he is going to take off, and he is very difficult to tackle in the open field. He's got running back-like ability out in space.
Looking downfield on first down. The screen, and watch out. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few.
I like the decision by the quarterback here. Just get the ball out of your hands, get it to your playmaker. A lot of times he'll dance and make even bigger plays than he did here, but it was still a positive game.
And here comes the offense on 2nd down. Back to pass. Grabbed over the middle. It's McCoy. And they reacted well to the completion, but it was too late to keep them from getting the first down.
Well, and a nice job working the middle of the field. I think it's so important to keep defenses honest, and you can't just dink and dunk outside. You got to work the middle. Great job finding this wide receiver over the middle of the field.
Looking to throw on first down. Pass rush coming after the quarterback, and they get him at the 32.
I think if you're the quarterback moving forward, you need to start thinking about hot routes to your tight ends and to your running backs because of this outside linebacker. He's a guy that has shown the knack to get after the QB. When he comes blitzing, you need to have an outlet throw in your back pocket.
And the Noles with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. The give is to Williams. Noses ahead to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 1.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Now the 8th play of the opening drive, but this time facing 3rd and long. Fires to the middle. He caught it. They will score. Touchdown, Noles.
Well, you know this offensive coordinator scripts his opening 10, 15 plays, and he didn't even need that. They went 9 plays and scored a touchdown. Everything working perfectly. They look like a well-oiled machine early in this game offensively.
Getting set for the extra point after putting the scoreboard to work for the first time. And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he'll return it and try to get behind his blockers. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. So Pittsburgh's offense will try to get something started with their first possession. And David, we've got a quarterback today who's been known for making enough plays when his team needs them.
Yeah, and listen, he's a guy that this offense is built around him. But, Jesse, he's not the guy that's going to take over. He needs the running game to get going. He needs the passing game. He needs a little bit of balance. Really good football player, but he needs the help of the quality teammates around him.
Yeah, you're right. I think the one thing we've seen with this guy is he's got to get into a rhythm in games early, right? And so whether it's running the football or getting a few completions early to get his confidence going, because once that happens, he's very, very good.
Out of the gun, the inside give. And how about that play by that giant, that mountain of a man on the defensive front?
Great team defense on that run play. Everybody doing their job. People winning their one-on-ones, D linemen staying in their gaps, linebackers and DBs filling. You just can't do it better.
This crowd bringing the energy and noise early. Sets up the screen. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36.
Well, after watching the other offense go down the field and score a touchdown, you know this guy's trying to lead his offense to do the exact same thing. That was a big third down. I know there's a lot of football left to play, but you're trying to establish confidence as early as possible. That last throw is really going to help out your team.
That's the end of the quarter, and Florida State has the lead. And we've come to the end of one, and let's take a quick moment to catch up on the stats. Lots of time left, and we're ready to get back to it and open the second period. So after the break, they'll go back to work. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Working on the right. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a first down.
17 on the play. That's a first down for the offense.
This Pitt offense has been clicking on this drive. He wants to throw. He's moving out of the pocket. He's brought down, but not before he turned that into a positive play and picked up a few on the run. And the Panthers in a good spot here with second and short. Trying play action. Oh, he's going to take a shot at the DB. Touchdown, Pitt! They get it into the end zone to pay off that opportunity.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, he hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback, wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
Looking for the tie with the extra point. And the point after is good. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And the points come on a pass from 39 yards out. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. Here's the return from inside his 10. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. The give to the tailback. Oh, what a move. Past the first down marker and still running. Makes the stop at the 32, but he picks up 10 on that play. Renegade would be proud of the way they're using those horses to move it on the ground.
Yeah, get the horsepower going. And, man, they've had some serious backs over the years at Florida State. And you think about all the talent, all the swag over the years. You got to get back to that, find those guys that they can really attach this offense to and thrive.
Well, good call by the defense there. They dialed up blitz into that running play, and the linebacker able to make the stop.
The Seminoles trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Now the play fake. Stands in and takes the hit. And they're not quite in rhythm there. It's incomplete.
Well, you make big plays for your quarterback in the game. You catch a touchdown pass, he's going to look your way again, often, downfield like they did right there, but give the defense credit, forcing an incompletion.
Now this offense facing a 3rd and long from their own 30. Wants to throw. It's Castellanos. Lost one deep down the right side. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
It's been a tale of 2 drives for this defense early on, right? They came out starting really slow, allowed a touchdown on the opening drive, but they're finally settling in here on this one. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. They did give up 1 first down, but really nice job there on that 3rd down pass defense, forcing the incompletion, now trying to set up a punt.
He'll take it on the return. And they'll get him on the ground as the offense comes out to start the next drive. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. He'll pull it on the read. Oh, he's got some space. Ridden out of bounds at the 45, a big play for this offense.
This is an offense that can move the sticks in a whole lot of different ways. Now you're seeing it on the option here. Great job by the quarterback. Reading the defense, there's nobody there taking him, so he puts his foot in the ground, he gets upfield, and he's got really nice elusiveness once he's out in the open field. He shows you that on that explosive play, picking up the first.
Caught near the sticks. It's Lee. Gets him down at the 30 after a 15-yard pickup. They are threatening, and they have a first down. New set of downs after the completion. Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. The clock winds down to 2 minutes, and we will take a pause for the 2-minute timeout. So now it's 2nd and long. Dropping back, it's Holstein. Grabbed in the middle, it's Johnson. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
QBs, when they see these zone coverages, man, some of them panic. Some of them throw it too quickly and can make bad decisions. I like how he waited a little bit, waited for the right window, the right opportunity. There's always going to be holes in zones. I just got to be a little bit patient.
They're looking to pass from the red zone. He wants it all. It falls incomplete. He was trying to find his man for 6.
Oh, the offense just not able to come up with that. You knew that was going to be a bang-bang play, right? They're taking a shot into the end zone. That's going to have to be a contested catch on the back end, but he wasn't able to come up with it because of the hit.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Under fire. And that one is picked up in the end zone. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover.
What a beautiful sight. And not only are we big and strong and powerful and athletic, you can just have unbelievable hands to the mix, because we can catch a football too, just like those little DBs, create turnovers, force interceptions. Let's go.
Plenty of time to work, not any time to waste as they take over here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Wants to throw on 1st down. Oh, he wants it all. He's got it inside the 30. And they'll do more than move the chains. They'll move that thing more than 30 yards down the field before he's finally stopped. That last play changed everything on this possession. They've got it 1st and 10 inside the 30. Back to throw, it's Castellanos. Makes the grab. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the 1st down.
That is an excellent throw by the quarterback, finding the window between the zones and delivering that ball on time.
Down to the 18-yard line, it's 1st and 10. They'll move the wide receiver. From the red zone, looking for a receiver. A strike downfield. That completion gets them inside the 10, and the defense is running out of room to defend. They go to the Wildcat here, looking to take advantage of that extra blocker. On the direct snap, it's Williams. Excellent pass by the back on the option.
And the offense breaks the tie, takes the lead, gains some momentum. How big is this, Palmer, now going into the half with the lead, with the momentum?
Well, they break the tie, but they also break their confidence a little bit now. The opponent now has to go into the locker room probably down, and they're wondering, what adjustments do we have to make? What do we have to fix? Because we've got our work cut out for us in this game.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And what a way to finish it with a 9-yard touchdown run. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. A little bit backed up to start this drive from their own 18-yard line. Finds his man. It's Lee. Brought down at the 31. It is a 1st down. We've got a timeout here late in the 1st half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Looking for a man. It's Holstein. Caught. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with the 1st down. There's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the 1st half. Now they'll line it up from the 44 on 1st and 10. Quickly complete. He's down to the 38-yard line, and they can stop the clock.
First job for the QB a lot of times. Look at those safeties. Is it man or is it zone? Nice job. You could tell right away. He saw it was zone, understood where to go with the football, and that's why this offense had a positive gain right away.
To the air on 1st down. Throws to the tight end. Got him downfield. Inside the 15. Out of bounds at the 14-yard line. The offense looking for a score. We've played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
All right, guys, looks like we've got a great one in Tallahassee going on. And how do we possibly begin without singing the praises of this receiver? His ability to find gaps, run textbook routes, and then show that breakaway speed. He simply is the total package. How this secondary responds, whether they try to double team him or get aggressive at the line, that'll be the story of this 2nd half. With that said, let's send it back to the guys at Doak Campbell Stadium.
And the Seminoles will kick it off to start the 2nd half. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. The Pitt offense back on the field and ready to roll. They find themselves trailing by a touchdown and a chance on this drive to even the score. And he runs into a wall, maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage.
This offense has really struggled, and I think you're just waiting for one play, one explosive play to happen to hopefully galvanize you a bit offensively. That's not the case, and there, they try to run the football in the first play of the drive, and it gets absolutely blown up for a loss.
They'll run play action. Fires to the big fella. Turning it on! A little more space. Open up that playbook even more as they pick up the first down out to the 30. That throw and catch, a really good example of why coaches don't want a quarterback to get stuck on a particular target, isn't it, David?
Yep, that's exactly right. Find the guy who's open because you got so many guys that have so much speed that can do so much damage on the field. Find my matchup, get it to him, let him do the rest.
The sure hands, it's Johnson. And he's to the 48-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down.
Man, that play takes some protection. If you're going to stick it in the belly and that wide receiver is going to run down the field that far, I need some good protection, and I need my lineman not to go downfield. Nice job by the quarterback making the right read, being patient, throwing that strike.
Looking to throw, it's Holstein. Fires to the wideout. Catch in the middle, it's Williams. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down.
And the offense here dialed up a really good zone beater. Give credit to the offensive coordinator. He called the right play at the right time.
The Panthers have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Catch in the middle, it's Williams. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few.
That guy might not be the tallest wide receiver in the world, but he sure is quick coming out of his break, and he shows you on that slant throw.
Got the completion on the last play, still some work to do on second down. Wants to throw it. Got a man, it's Lee. Stop just inside the 25. We'll mark it at the 24. Pickup of 10 and a first down.
Need to do a better job as a defender tackling the catch. On the curl route, he had a chance to break on the ball, get the receiver down, couldn't do it, and as a result, they give up an explosive play.
Inside the 25, they'll snap it from the 24. First down. Receiver on the move gets the touch pass. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage.
Really good job by the defense, seeing it and going and getting it. Nice job understanding the touch pass. It could happen. Those guys go in motion, man. I got to understand, safety's got to see that, start flying down, getting ready to play that. Nice job by the defense being ready for that play.
Looking to fire. That's caught. It's Johnson. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. Third down play in the red zone, and this crowd is at fever pitch. Dropping back, it's Holstein. Right down the middle. Can't make the connection on third down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's fourth down.
Bend don't break by the defense, right? They've allowed a lot of big plays, but here in the red zone, great job in coverage on that third down, and now the offense is in an interesting situation.
Here comes the field goal unit. This crowd trying to do its part to get inside the kicker's head. Absolutely perfect. That'll bring him to within 4.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
So they were able to put up a 3 spot on that last drive, and now the kickoff team out there as they prepare to put boot to leather. He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. He'll try the left side. Defense just going after him. They stop him for a loss of 6.
brings up.
That is such a nice example of the defense reading and reacting and locating the football on the sweep play. They weren't fooled at all. They knew they were trying to go to the outside. They got leverage, corralled the back, got him down behind the line of scrimmage.
And the Seminoles have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Wants to go up top. Under fire. Can't make the connection, and the defense putting on the heat and forcing the incompletion.
And there's an example of what happens when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet. The pressure just forced him to have to work off schedule a little bit. And I think because of that, he wasn't able to be as accurate as he wanted to be.
You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. He's going to throw deep right side. Makes the grab inside the 30. And I wasn't sure they were going to be able to catch him. They finally did, but they gave up a huge play. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. Got it in the middle, it's White. And as they get him to the ground, clock running, looks as if time will expire here in the 3rd. We've come to the end of the period, and Florida State has the lead. They've done the work to build a nice cushion now to bring it home as we check out the stats after 3 quarters. Not only is the scoreboard on their side, but so too is time as we open the 4th. It'll be 2nd down as we open the final stanza. Back to pass, it's Castellanos. Gets it out fast. And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first, an array of possibilities here. The Seminoles are facing 3rd and inches. He'll sneak it and try to surge forward. All down, and they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down.
And David, on 3rd and inches right there, that's often a decision the quarterback predetermines. Who's my best guard? That's the guy I'm going to try to get behind.
And I know that defensively too, but I'm just trying to dive and create a pile, but it's so hard to stop that play. That's why you see it ran so successfully.
They'll ride Davis here. Wrestled to the ground, but he's inside the 10 and down to the 9.
You got to give the coaching staff credit because they really do focus all season long on situational football. With the lead late in the game, if we're on offense, we're trying to stay in bounds. We're trying to bleed the clock. And after ripping off a really nice run, that guy knew, I've got to get down. I cannot get pushed out of bounds, cannot get tackled out of bounds. Really, really nice job.
How about this sophomore stopping him short of the first down line?
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, and David, it puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get him out of his spot.
They make the stop at the 5-yard line, but they've got it 1st and goal.
Well, this guy hasn't quite put up Heisman numbers in this game, but in a moment where they need him the most, in the 4th quarter, look how strong he is running. Breaking tackles, he's been smart, he still has the ability to cut. He looks like he could play another 4 quarters.
Direct snap. It's Williams. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Seminoles!
And man, a lot of times late in games, you see offenses, they get very conservative, very predictable, and then they leave it in the hands of their defense. I like this execution, man. The offense continues to do what they do, and they take the 2-score lead in the 4th quarter, everything going in their direction.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, it's a 21-10 game. They marched 78 yards down the field, and they punctuated it with a 5-yard touchdown run. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Looking for an alley from inside his own 10. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. The Pittsburgh offense is back on the field. Scanning the field, it's Holstein. Throws to the wideout. On target over the middle. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the first down.
The only way they were getting back in this game is if they did that. Great job. Huge explosive play by this offense. We need multiple scores. Got to keep the hammer down, but great job making the explosive.
Offense threatening at the 45-yard line on 1st and 10. With the catch, it's Reed. Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33. So that big play changes the complexion of things. It's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Finds the tight end. And the big fella couldn't elude the cornerback who makes a sure tackle. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. Just keep slinging it. Got his man downfield. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the 1st down.
It's really nice when you're an offensive coach and you can basically attack the whole field. When you got an arm like this and you can just, boom, put it on a line, it's really nice to have that.
Pittsburgh going to work with a fresh set of downs. From the red zone, looking for a space. Snagged in the middle, it's Lee. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Nice job, defense. You always hear people talk about tackling the catch. You saw it right there. There was nowhere for that receiver to go once he had possession. As a result, no gain.
Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. Looking downfield, it's Holstein. Unloads to the wideout. And into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Pittsburgh!
And listen, still a ways to go, but great job by this offense getting you back in the ball game. Now, we got a one-possession game. We got our score. We did what we're supposed to do. Now, how do we get this stopped? Now, the defense has to come up big and get me the rock back.
They'll go for 2 here and try to climb within a field goal late. From the gun, he'll try to throw. Almost had the completion, just missed it. Just over a minute to play. They're lining up for an onside kick to try to pull off this rally. Guys, here comes that Florida State offense back onto the field. Guys, you want to be productive here and not go into a shell, but you've got to take care of the ball.
Yeah, and I think you say productive, Reese. Productive at this point in the game is running the clock and getting 1st down. So, Jesse, I can expect this defense to be aggressive, way up near the line of scrimmage, bringing a bunch of bodies, trying to stop the run.
And that's why it puts a lot of pressure on an offense, David, because you know if you do try to throw the football, it's probably man coverage. You're probably getting blitzed. It's going to be into a small window. It is not easy to execute in this situation of the game.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. Running out the clock, a mere formality between them and a victory as we have victory formation coming. The Knowles will line up to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Special teams coming through as they pin them back. They'll mark it dead at the 10. They'll snap it from the 10 for the first play of this drive. To the air, it's Holstein. The sure hands, it's Reed. And that defense is all over that one. No room to run after the catch.